What was that? It's not a horse, that's a unicorn. What's going on, everyone? Farmer Z here. We are back at the homestead at Mercury Farms, and let's see what we got to do today. We got some household chores to get done. Feed the chickens and horses. Want to stock up on some stuff. Some hay, some straw, and some manure, so we can keep things moving around here. And check in on our greenhouse, check in on the tomato production, see how we're doing, and hopefully take the first load and get it sold today, see what kind of money we're going to make on tomatoes here. While we're feeding the horse or watering the horses, I got a call from someone who wants to bring us another horse to keep here. So we're going to be adding another horse today. I think we got room for one more. Let's give the horses some water first. No need to feed because I'm a cheater, and I just leave my straw bale there for their bedding and my hay bale there until they run out. Life hack for you there. Looks like there's 2,700 liters still left of the straw and 1,200 liters still left in the hay bale. So we'll get more bales today just so we have them on hand, and we're ready for when they run out. And yeah, we'll get to it today. So let's get the chickens fed, and then we'll get some more of these chores done, I guess, before we go sell. I'm eager to see what we're going to make on tomatoes, but before we go sell our tomatoes, let's get water and manure added to the trees in the greenhouse, so they're still producing while we're while we head to town and sell our tomatoes, and we might have some eggs ready to sell too. After we do all this, get all these chores done, I want to spend some time going through our finances and talking about some of the future growth plans here, what I'm hoping to do and things that I'm hoping to buy and the direction I'm hoping to take this series. So we'll see what we can get done today and see if we can plan out. This is the strategy part of the game here. See if we can plan out next steps, have a list of goals to work toward, and see if we can estimate some potential timeline for all this fun stuff based on what we're making, what these things are going to cost, and do some rough math. I gotta get some manure for these trees. It's getting low. Gotta top off the greenhouse too. So as soon as we get done watering here, we'll go buy some poop. I don't have to go anywhere for that. I have the store deliver, because who has time to go load poop and bring it back to the homestead here? Not me. Alright, let's get filled up. Here's our little water standpipe mod that we use. At some point, it sure would be nice to get a bigger water hauler. This little guy works just fine for the fruit trees, but this greenhouse takes a fair amount of water. Yeah, so we're gonna have to do a few loads here to get this bad boy filled up. So probably not a priority, but once we can afford some of the finer things in life, maybe get a bigger water hauler. let's get the manure ordered up. If you watched my last episode, you know that we can't buy the double pallets because our baby tractor tips over. So lesson learned on that. We're gonna have to buy a few standard size pallets. Let's see, we've got 3,200 in the account. I think the trees collectively take maybe one of these pallets a day, and the greenhouse takes a couple. Let's buy, they're only 100 a pallet. Let's buy 10 of these bad boys. Got it. All right, let's get this spread on the trees and load it into the greenhouse. I got a trailer to load with some tomatoes. So we have all the manure put away. We got our hay and straw bale delivered. And say hi to Licorice. Our new horse is here. Yeah, her owner dropped her off just a little bit ago. And we are loaded up with tomatoes also. So I got the beater hitched up to the trailer. The bed's full, she's squatting. And we're going to go to town and sell these bad boys. What a setup. There was like just enough. I was about to say there's just enough room in my trailer, but that one in front is hanging off the edge. This is what a poor farmer looks like. We are definitely being judged. Just want to make sure there's no traffic that's going to knock into us and send tomatoes flying everywhere. Then we'd be selling tomato paste. So curious to see what we're going to make. This was like a day's worth of production, so that's not bad. I mean, this little greenhouse spits out the maters. Stay there! Don't fall! Harvest income, $11,026. Sweet. We had been making, if you look at Friday, we had been making around 3,300 on a normal day between the property income for fruit sales and the income from the horses. Saturday was a weird day. That was the day that we sold everything we had to buy the greenhouse. Sunday was the day we built the greenhouse, so the finances are a little weird those 2 days. But if we can make 11,000 a day, 10,000 a day, plus the 3,300 we were making, we're making a little bit of money every day. I do not want to take a loan out on this series. I'm determined not to. But with that said, I do still have plans and goals. What I want to do is buy field 25, $55,324. I want to plant oats and wheat, so maybe split the field in half, put oats on half of it and wheat on the other half. And the thought there is that we'll be more self-sustaining. You know, we can have the oats to feed the horses. We'll no longer have to buy bales of hay every few days. And we will have the straw from the harvest for their bedding, so we won't have to buy our bales of straw every few days either. And then as far as the wheat goes, again, we get more straw from that for the horse bedding, and that can replace the big bags of chicken feed that we have to buy. So I want to grow, want to buy a field, be a little bit more self-sustaining, cut down on some of our overhead costs. The problem with that, there's always a problem. The problem with that is we need somewhere to store. You buy a field to plant on it, you plant to harvest, and when you harvest, in our case, we don't plan on selling the harvest, we're going to use the harvest. We've got to put it somewhere. I don't have room or money for a silo, so we're resourceful around here. I think what we'll do is this little grain trailer that I'm pulling here holds 6,000 liters. I think we'll buy a few more of these, so I've got to kind of put that in the budget as well, and just store what we have in the shop back here. When I look at the costs of this trailer versus the cost of maybe, some other trailers, and I won't even go into the costs of a silo because we don't have the money, like I said, but $3,000 to hold 6,000 liters when you look at, cost per liter of grain storage, it's a better deal than really any of these trailers. You can get up to 12,000 liters on this trailer, but then it costs $12,000. So I think we'll buy, as we get the land, or after we get the land, as we approach harvest time, we'll get a few trailers, and we're starting small, so we got to make ends meet. So that's how we'll store our grain. The other thing I want to look at is, from a financial standpoint, the cost of the field, $55,000. All right, and then we got to think through what else we're going to have to do to make this happen, and then to produce a grain here. We'll need a plow. So this 6-meter wide plow, if we were to lease a used secondhand plow, that's $589. We would need a seeder. So let's go look at seeders, and we'll go with the cheapest available. This is just an in-game plow, in-game seeder, not a mod. $450 to lease. We would need a fertilizer, and this isn't even going to include the cost of the actual fertilizer, but just the implement to be able to fertilize, $693. And eventually we'll need a harvester and a header, and again we'll go with the cheapest in-game harvester, $2,900 to lease. And as for the header, $936 to lease. So quick math, approximately $72,000. That's kind of what our hopes and dreams are going to cost here. The land and the plow and the seeder alone, the first half of that, the first few things we would need to get this process going, that would be about $56,000. So we need to make it to $56,000 before we can pursue these goals, and we have almost $12,000 now. Again, looking back at the finances, if we think we're going to make $13,000 a day, we are 4 or 5 days away from being able to afford this. We're living very hand to mouth right now, and if we're 4 or 5 days away, 3.8 acres, if we're 4 or 5 days away from this purchase, approximately, we're going to miss the spring planting season. So my goal is to be able to afford field 25 and afford a lease on a plow and a seeder by day 7 of summer, so we can plow and plant immediately, and hopefully later this year be able to harvest our first field. in the meantime, it seems as though tomatoes will be a full-time job between the multiple trips uh, with the water tank and manure fill-ups every day. Of course, we've still got our trees to keep full with water and manure, and chickens and horses to keep fed. So that'll be a full-time job in the meantime. We'll put all our effort into that, since that's where all of our money for our future plans is going to come from. And I will catch you guys later. I'm going to wrap it up for this video, and we will see you next time on the homestead at Mercury Farms. Thank you for hanging out with me today. Farmer Z out.